the fall and the banishment of man. Welcome to the Gospel 28, a 28-day teaching on the gospel, taking you through all that led up to the gospel itself, and its implication to you and I. Today, we would be addressing the fall and the banishment of man. Our Bible reference today is from Genesis chapter 2, from verse 15 to 17. God speaking, he said, "And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it." 16. "And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die." That was God speaking. His instruction to man was to eat freely of every tree, from every tree, but not the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Moving on to chapter 3. The serpent came. Temptation happened. Eve was deceived. She ate of the fruit. Adam ate of the fruit as well. And in that very moment, sin came into the world. Sin came into the perfect world, the good world that the Lord God had created. Man fell in that very moment. But what God said was that when the very moment they eat of the fruit, they would surely die. Now, in the sense that we think, they did not physically lose their lives. So what happened? God definitely did not lie. 2 days ago, we spoke about why God created man. God created us out of love. God created us for worship. God created us to serve him, to fellowship with him, to commune with him. Human beings can only find satisfaction and fulfillment in our source. Our source is God, the source of our life, source of our peace, source of everything is God. Our very lifeline is God. So disconnection from our source, disconnection from the very source that gives us life, is death. Separation from that God is death. Separation from God is death. In the fall of man, man died. Death, not in the physical one that we would think, but the spiritual death, which is separation from our lifeline, separation from our source, separation from life itself, which is God. Imagine this. Walking down the streets, you see a pretty flower, and you decide, let me pluck it and show someone how beautiful it is. Now, the moment you pluck it from its branch, it is disconnected from its source. It might still look pretty and nice when you show it to someone or when you see it, but the truth is that it has been disconnected from its source. That plant there is dead, already in the process of dying. Come back a few days after and you would see that the bright color is no longer there. The amazing smell is no longer present. The plant is dead, and that is what happened when man fell. We were disconnected from our source, separated from our God, and dead. If God is so loving, why then did he banish them from the Garden of Eden? Now, the other tree was the tree of life. Man would have wanted to eat of the tree of life to live forever. But if man in that condition, that present state of sin, that sinful condition, that sinful nature, had eaten of that fruit, that condition would have been locked in eternity. We would have been irredeemable. There would have been no way for us to be saved. There would have been no way for us to be forgiven. God, in his mercy and his love, sent man out of the garden, not out of anger, but preservation, because of love. The Lord, right there, even in our fallen state, was already orchestrating and planning our redemption. If we had eaten from that tree of life in the fallen state, we would have been irredeemable. Genesis chapter 3 from verse 22. "And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. This was preservation. So the Lord God drove them out of the garden so he could fix the condition, so that when they eat of the tree of life, which is Jesus, the condition would be fixed. The nature would be dead and man would be able to live again. Man would be restored to the order that God had created, the perfect way, the good way. This is the preservation of God. This is the love of God. This is the mercy of God and his grace. Thank you all so much for joining me today on the Gospel 28. See you all tomorrow. Remember, if you have questions and you would like to join a community with believers, click the form below or in my profile. Thank you so much. Bye.